So the topic today is going to be when you get off track and nothing seems right, what do you do? Because I see a lot of that going on lately.
With everybody?
Although, yeah, I think a lot of it's like seasonal. People's businesses are picking up, things are getting busier. The summer's coming upon us, or at least the seasons are changing, which is creating new things in the atmosphere to deal with that we've been in a mode for so long and the mode is shifting. And then you got situations like yours where you're a week away from having a new kid, a week past moving into a new house. There's just a whole lot going on with you. um, and your situation was kind of nice a little bit because you were able to take something off your plate by not doing summer classes in school, so you were able to shift things. But I think
Yeah,
that's
and then the whole like losing my flash drive was kind of like a blessing in disguise because I eventually found it, and I no longer, I hit them up right away. I'm like, hey, I'm not gonna be able to do anything for you guys for a while. I'm moving, plus I lost the flash drive, and they were like, take all the time you need. And
yeah.
so I mean that worked out. And yeah, no. Um
So I'm kind of curious to hear what other people have going on, and if their life seems to feel like it's gotten a little sideways or out of control or a little less manageable, if you will. Um, we have minimal viewers. People are like, I don't want to talk about sideways life and stuff.
they're playing outside. It's good weather.
There is that,
Or they're probably tinting cars because it's good weather.
or there's that. I don't know. I'm Mr. Ratliff. I managed
Oh,
to pull a muscle in my back today, slipping on a
that'll
tent
do it.
liner. Now, let me ask you this. Was it a tent liner somebody else left there for you to stumble across, or was that your own negligence? Because I'm pretty passionate about that topic. That's kind of that's kind of big stuff to me. And pulling muscles in your back is no joke.
You know what? Where's the best part? The best way to step on a liner is when you're like standing up in the car to like work on the windshield, and then you hop down backwards, and then you step on it.
Yeah, and things go sideways. Oh, it was my own. No good, man. No good. Oh, jeez. Can't even be mad at anybody. Well, yourself, but
Sometimes you try to put the liner where it goes, and the wind just takes it somewhere else, and you just like either don't notice because you just assume it went into the trash or in the foot area of the vehicle, and you just don't, or like it made it halfway in the car and halfway out, and then opening the door just blew it out just right. Stepping out of a charger and forgot I tossed it out that side.
Alex was trying to, make it seem like it wasn't like totally your fault, but I don't know. I get after people really, really hard in my shop when I see them throw shit on the floor. It's just there's just no room for it because no matter how careful you are, you get that moment and you're just not really looking, and next thing you know,
I think that might be the second number one rule at Tent Squad.
What's the first number one rule?
Snapping blades on the floor.
Oh yeah, don't let me catch a piece of stainless steel on the fucking floor. That's there's no reason for that. We allow plenty of time to use trash cans, and we place trash cans all around the work areas so that you don't have to like walk to the other side of the car or anything. That's not really a thing. But that's also, the thing. When you're in the car, I assume that you were doing a back glass and you reverse rolled it or something because you were inside and tossed it out. But that's that's a little difficult. I always, when I'm inside of a vehicle and I have a liner that I have to do something with, I always put it on the floor adjacent to where I am. And
Yeah.
the liner I toss on the floor is the back glass after reverse rolling. Yep, yep, yep. So I don't know. I make it a point not to because I have had that bite me in the ass way too many times. And as mad as I get at myself when that would happen, I cannot imagine how I would unload on somebody else if they threw something on the floor and I stepped on it. So I partially unload on them when I see it and I don't step on it because that way they get the point. All my doors go in trash cans hanging off the wall. Yeah, so that does make it tough. I Frankenstein back windows, so that's not really an issue for me. But I do reverse roll windshields typically. Um, Actually, the last go around when I was tinting for Charles when he was out for his baby leave, um, I Frankensteined a lot of windshields because I was more comfortable with it. And Tim, what's up? But yeah, so I don't know. Having a pulled back muscle really sucks when you got shit to do. Makes breathing a little tough, a little less than fun. So we got lots of things happening here, but a lot of things come in sideways. Like last week after Tool Talk, Wednesday, Alex reaches out to me Wednesday morning and says, "Dude, man, I don't know what I got, but I got something." And this is the sickliest boy. So he was sick Wednesday, he was sick Thursday, he was sick Friday, he was probably sick Saturday. I don't know.
I think I'm still
He
kind of sick.
he's still kind of sick, but he came to work today or yesterday, so there's that. But so that put a halt on everything we were doing on the website, and meanwhile, um, we were a man down, so to speak, here, and everything was going pretty good, but we finally got our pallets of kegs in, so 100 and something kegs had to get put away without Alex, and then he gets back on Monday and it's time to do some catching up. But we can't catch up because then we got pallets of window film come in. So that kind of got done. But it didn't get done Monday because then Matt over at Tint Studio, he's got a class and he gives out tint kegs to all of his students. And so he's got the class coming up, and I've been waiting on these pallets of kegs. And with a man down, we didn't, we got the kegs and got them put away Friday, but we didn't get Matt's kegs all wrapped and everything. So we did that Monday. And then I don't know if he made a video or what, but he also sells his version of our tint keg, and we drop ship them for him. And what did he sell, like 5 yesterday? Plus, ours that we had to do, and it's just been crazy. And then he sold more today, and we sold more today, but we got the rest of the film put away today, so that was good. And big news. So, all right, guys, time to put your money where your mouth is, because you guys talked me into it. We have the full line of Supernova Alpha, 96% IR rejection. It's freaking nuts. And I don't remember what the teaser is on it, but it's kind of ridiculous too. I can look real quick. But we took it a step further because I understand this stuff is expensive and we all want to use it. And this stuff is fantastic. I would probably say that this is better than anybody else's IR shit. It's just, it's clear. It performs like amazing. It shrinks wonderful. It's great to work with. I've had people already tell me that it's like the best film I got. And I don't know because they all have slightly different purposes, but we decided to make it easier to put in your hands. So we're selling 25-foot rolls. If you want to, jump in or try it out or whatever, you can get a 25-foot roll. You can go a long ways with a 25-foot roll. I mean, obviously you're not doing 10 cars, but you can do 2 to 3. And
ask Dusty Ratliff how he likes it.
Yeah. Oh, he's here, isn't he?
Loves it. Yeah.
Yeah, he was one of my guinea pigs. Where are we here? Where are we? Where are we? Where are we? There it is. Found it. But yeah, because it's like almost $1,000 a roll for a full 60-inch roll. We're not currently stocking 60-inch rolls. If you need a 60-inch roll, let me know. I can special order it. It takes a couple extra days, but it's just I've got a lot of people pushing me. Oh, I need the other shades. You guys got to get this stuff. And I'm like, I want to, but I'm doing the math and it's just not working. That's a ton of freaking money to put all that on the shelf. So we got the 5, 20, 35, and 50 and 40-inch rolls. And we will get you 60-inch rolls if and when you need them. Because I do understand that the things do happen. But I was supposed to be looking at something here. Oh yeah. So the teaser rating is like 69% with this stuff, with a 96% IR rating. It's just freaking phenomenal. And typically I've never been the kind of guy to jump on board with this stuff because for the extra and the heat rejection, the problem was the haziness. It just wasn't good in my opinion. And this stuff is phenomenal. It's like, and just like any IR film, if you look for it, if you know what you're looking for, you can see there is haze in it. Your customers won't see it. Yeah, it's not something you'll ever have to explain. And the stuff is just crazy. But yeah, so you can get a damn it, I closed the tab already. I didn't bother. 182. Yeah, you can get a 25-foot roll for 182. Your first car should pay for a full roll, and your second car should be all profit and then some. So that's the nice thing about this stuff. If you want to ease yourself into it, schedule a job, buy what you need, buy 25-foot rolls, do that first car, buy a couple more 25-foot rolls. And then when you do your next car, start buying 100-foot rolls or 50-foot rolls, whatever. You can work your way into it. But I get it. This is expensive. I mean, obviously it's a much bigger scale for me to put it on my shelves than it is for you to put it on your shelves. Cause you've only really got to get one of each and one of each of what you're going to use, where we have to get enough for all you guys. So there's that. And I don't know if you noticed, guys, but I'm going into hippie mode. I haven't decided if I'm ever going to get a haircut again because I don't why. Alex goes long periods without haircuts, so
I get maybe like 2 a year.
Yeah, I'm starting to work towards that. I'm trying to think. I think my last haircut wasn't it before I went to Utah.
Probably.
So
Yeah.
that was a minute. That was October, well, September, and now we're coming into May. So yeah, it's been a minute. It's getting.
Just do the buzz cut, and then I wear a hat the entire time.
And he finally gets a haircut when the second person says, "Your hair's getting kind of long." But since most people don't see his hair because, Tim's been crazy busy making hats. Yeah, speaking of making hats, I'm gonna need some hats. And I don't know. I mean, what's the popular thing? Are snapback hats out now, or are they still a thing? Is it a trucker hat thing?
I don't know. I'm wearing a
What's
snapback.
Well, I know. But I see so many trucker hats going around now. It's like I just don't. I'm too old to know what's in and what's old.
I feel like the trucker hats are right up to the point where I feel like they just don't hold up as well. So like after a couple of months of just wearing it every day, it's just like all beat up. I'm just like, then I put it on the hat graveyard.
You know what's funny is like with jeans, people will go pay extra money for jeans already with holes in them and stuff. And hats tried to do that fad. They had the cowboy trucker hats with already having little rips and wears in them, and that never took off. Guess that's the difference between teenage girls and
Yeah, flat bills for sure. And then I don't know the flat bill. Wait. Oh, this is the flat bill trucker hat. So I guess I don't know. But if you're
oh,
talking about like the bent bill trucker hat, like I don't know. I got the um I got the one from uh Montana where it looks like the Bass Pro Shop hat, but it says Tit Pro Shop and it's got the squeegee handle bent like a fish. And I wear that pretty often, but I only wear that when I can't find a hat, and it's like the closest one I can find. Good afternoon, Matt.
how's your day going? How's your week going? How's your year going? Oh heck, I didn't say how's your month going. It's spring. I think it's officially spring. It is spring, right?
Dude, it's almost summer.
I don't know. Our weather's dumb. Last weekend I was up in not this past weekend, the weekend before I was up in Cadillac, and it was uh it was cold. I mean, like long johns and gloves and snow on the cars in the morning cold. And now I don't know what it
We're like
is.
we're like halfway through, I think, or it might be a little bit more halfway through.
It's 70 out right now, which is, I mean, it's clear skies and 70. You can't ask for more than that. Sunshine in, it's beautiful. But we don't get a lot of this either. Usually this time of year it's either cold and raining or warm and raining. The sunshine part is. But it looks like we got a little bit of rain on Friday, and the rest of the next week is supposed to be pretty sunny and nice. I don't understand it truthfully, but yeah, we got tomorrow we're supposed to see 80 degrees, then 72, 77, 65, 62, 60. So it's going to drop back down again. But whatever.
You know, there was 120 tornadoes in America in the last 4 days.
That's a lot of tornadoes.
Yeah.
That's
There's
a
one that
lot of tornadoes. What's up, legends? We got all the heavy hitters in here today. Oh, I hear rumors that WFCT's coming right around the corner. When is that?
That's in September. It's gonna be in Orlando.
So that isn't even real soon.
No,
And
no.
isn't WFR reunion in August?
Yeah, it's the last week of August, and then WFCT is mid-September. So they're like 2 weeks apart from each other.
So I get it. So like you go to the reunion, you have a ball, you get excited, you come back, make some more money, and go back to WFCT.
Yeah, let's see. Let me get the actual date. WFTC
I
and
I don't
off.
know.
Yeah,
I
September 19th to the 21st. I don't know. Casey's talking more about like wanting to go to Orlando than Chattanooga, but I don't know that.
so it's funny. I've been thinking about Chattanooga's I think about 30 minutes away from Oliver Springs, which is where Windrock is.
Yeah,
So I'm like, I haven't had my Jeep in Windrock yet. But I don't know. That's a long ways away. And that's, well, November's when the Kentucky thing is. So I don't think we're planning anything for the rest of the summer as far as any trips or anything. It's just not going to be in the cards. So we'll see. I'm kind of glad that there's a big opening over the course of the summer though for um no real big event happenings. You had the Tinner battles at the beginning, and then you're going to have WFR and WFCT at the end. So too many events trying to go to WFR this year. Yeah, I was thinking about that too. It's like it seems like the best I can put together is one event a year, no matter how much I want to do multiples.
well,
So
how much is a booth? I
a
can't.
booth? I don't
Yeah.
know.
What if we did a tent keg booth?
We should do a tin keg booth.
I think we should. We sold so many at WFTC that one year.
Yes. We sold so many and then a whole bunch more when we got back. I mean, well, while we were there, people are like, "Well, can I just order one and when you go back you can send it to me?" I'm like, "Yeah,
Oh.
I
And then
really
what if we
can."
brought wraps with us and then like we bring blank kegs so they're not already wrapped so we don't have to be like stuck with like a keg that's pre-wrapped with a wrap nobody wants. We can wrap them in front of everybody. We can just even we can bring all the materials and we can build them there, built to order in front of everybody.
Oh my God. So instead of like a Build-A-Bear booth, we could have a Build-A-Keg
Build a
booth.
keg booth. Build a keg
Ah,
booth. Well, that so they're real picky about brands with WFR. Like you would have to get a tin keg booth and a Helios booth, I think.
the younger generation is crazy. Is anyone else dealing with this? Oh yeah. Under 30 is a difficult thing. I'll tell you, Mike, I got a girl here. She's, I don't know, well under 30, and she just ain't right. There's obviously like she's lying about her age or something because she's responsible, she's accurate, she's attentive, but she doesn't she doesn't always get here on time. She like I mean, she was pretty early today. It was like 17 minutes after. Um, but I'm like, hey, older people don't show up on time. So, I mean, Alex, though, he scared the hell out of me because I'm always the first one here. And I come walking through the door, and there that fucker was. He's just sitting here in front of the computer. I'm like, what? What is going on? So yeah, that was its own thing.
Is that my wife?
It is your wife. Does
Yep,
she know
Brian
that
always
she's not
goes
allowed?
next.
Does she know that she's not allowed to yank you out of here early on a Tuesday? Well, next Tuesday. Alex probably won't be here next Tuesday. Um,
Oh yeah.
because he's going to be having a baby next Tuesday. Unless, of course, the baby decides he's going to do it sooner, because things are progressing right along. So that's going to be its own thing. You can give updates on that. There's probably plenty of people that are curious.
Fucking Tool Talk live stream the birth.
Casey would probably love that. I am
Thanks, Dave.
absolutely sure. Pay attention to parents, a huge part. Yeah, it's people in general. Yeah, people in general are definitely going a little sideways. And I mean, society is nothing like what it was when I was younger. Expectations are nothing like what they were when I was younger. Um, I mean, shit that was just absolutely untolerated when I was younger. You've got all kinds of people coming together to make excuses for the people doing the same stuff. It's difficult, but it's the world we live in. So I'm talking about you train them, rake, take care of them, then they leave thinking the grass is green. Mike, that's always gone on. And trust me, the older guys do the same thing. That's a numbers game. You just gotta and accept the fact that everybody's temporary. The longest I ever held a job was 7 years, and I know 7 years is a long time, but 1 year I had 13 jobs. So I mean, I had to work up to it. And for my generation, I was pretty damn young that year. I had 13 jobs. And it's just Mike doesn't remember that because he was always too busy being ambitious.
I mean, like, another thing is too, like, are you setting them up so where you're plateauing them lower than they want to plateau at? Because like if a person feels like they have more opportunity to grow and you're not giving them that opportunity, they're probably going to go somewhere else. Because that was me with like roofing. I gave myself $1 an hour raise every year because when I get put into a crew, these are my set of skills, and then they teach me some skills, but they're not willing to teach me past that point because they're a company that's not big enough. They already have a person that's doing that thing, so they don't need to have me do that thing. And if I'm not doing that thing, then there's no need for them to pay me more because they're already paying me for the things that I'm already doing. So then that's when I find a bigger crew and then I get to do those things and make more money doing it.
Well, also, the we got to be careful not to let tomorrow's concern ruin today's opportunity. And you know, like like Mike says, I'm ready to let everybody go and do it myself. One thing that I've learned over the years is that everybody, I mean, it is rare that you find somebody that doesn't at some point think the grass is greener in a different environment or a different situation. Um, let's take, I'll give you an example that's not really related to, well, it's kind of related to the industry, but I, there's a certain company that got a hold of a lot of my customers because they hired a lot of real popular famous people and they were the cool crowd. And recently a lot of my customers have been coming back because they don't fit the desire over there, and it is nothing like what it is over here. even though there's a bunch of people. And the problem is there's a bunch of people online saying, oh my God, these guys are second to none. They're the best. And the truth is, I'm second to none. And I got the customer base to back it up. And the problem is, I don't believe in the whole hoopla thing that everyone's doing online because it drags people away and creates disappointment. When I was running Tint Squad, when we were the wholesale division with 16 accounts and like 6 tinters, and everyone was running around doing, I paid my tinters immaculately. But Matt was the longest tinner I ever had. He was 5 years before he left. Most tinners didn't make it a year. A couple of them made it 2 years. But the reality is every single one of them thought that I was getting rich, and because of social media and other exploitations, they were believing that they were missing out and somebody else was making money off of them. And I just had to learn to accept the fact that that's how it was. My reality was that I needed to enjoy the opportunity I had right then until it was gone. And I did make the decision, like you say, you're ready to do. I made the decision that I wasn't chasing tinners no more. I wasn't trying to keep this thing going. It was fun while it lasted, but I don't owe these guys anything. And once they leave and find out that it's not greener, tinners are a funny specimen because they don't always come back because they don't want you to know that they were wrong when they don't even realize you already know they were wrong. You knew they were wrong when they left, but it's a pride thing. So we decided to you kind of know how it unraveled. We let everything kind of dwindle and we started dropping accounts as we needed to because we only wanted to do what we could do. We didn't want to do more than we could do. And we didn't want to have to convince people that we were the best game in town. But, I had a whole bunch of tinners that all they had to do is at the end of the day, look at their phone. It would tell them where to be tomorrow, how many cars were going to be there, what the cars were. All they had to do is drive to that location with their stuff, tint those cars, and drive home. And every one of them, and this was back 10 years ago, every one of them was making $60,000 to $100,000 a year. And all they had to do is show up, tint cars, and go home. They didn't have to talk to customers. They didn't have to answer phones. They didn't have to bill accounts. They didn't have to do any of that stuff. And every one of them thought that the 10% that we were making off of them, and oh, by the way, 10% we were making off of them, and then turning around and paying an office staff to do all that headache shit that they didn't have to do, they all thought that we were making money off of them. And I mean, I had a guy, he went to a shop and he busted a guy's windshield taking a Ford mirror off. Anybody ever heard of that happening? Well, see, all these tinners are subcontractors and they weren't my employees. And they take responsibility for their own actions. And so, he called to ask what to do. I'm like, well, you get the customer set up to get their windshield replaced, and he's like, well, who's going to pay for it? And I had to chuckle because I'm like, you're going to pay for it, and oh, he lost his shit on me. What? You make all this fucking money off of me and blah, blah. It wasn't very long before he left because I made so much money off of him. And just think, if you're making $100,000 a year, I'm making 10. And not all my tinners made $100,000 a year. But see, I'm not making 10. That goes to the office. I'm making zilch, zero. I was a tinner alongside of them, and I had the exact same pay structure they did. I paid the office just like they did. And yeah, it wasn't sustainable. Tinners are a different breed. That doesn't mean that the good ones don't exist, because they do. There are plenty of tinners out there that want the security. I lost one guy not because he didn't make enough or he thought I was making more money than him. In fact, he cut his pay to a third of what he was making. He was good. And he went on talking about Woody. And he
Yeah.
went to work for a guy for $600 a week salary because he just wanted the assurance that every week this is how much he was going to make. He was budget minded and he just well, I kind of sold him the film. I didn't sell him I bought the film and they bought it from me, but that was before I added a profit to it. They, we were a team. That wasn't the distribution, the creating the film. See, we bought Haneda Film and we bought Flex Film, believe it or not. And um we used those films and I bought those films for retail. And it wasn't until 2016 when I became a distributor. And by the time I became a distributor, we were already cutting, tinners were leaving and we were cutting cords. And in 2017, we was down to our last account and had lost our last tinner. And now it's a pretty much family run and operated business. And we're on probably our fourth or fifth um, trainee person since then. You rotate them in, rotate them out. Yeah, it did make it seamless though, because they didn't have to order film. They didn't have to order tools. Well, they kind of had to order tools right up until the end because I never thought about buying tools for everybody to have, everybody had their own stuff. When I was granted the ability to be a distributor, then we kind of got everybody together and we compared what everyone used. And that's kind of what we started with. And I wonder if that's how 44, no, because back when 44 Tools started, there wasn't 44 Tools in our industry. But I'm trying to remember how many tools we actually had when we first ordered tools and started carrying tools. Maybe we could have been 17 tools.
We had you had the Conqueror, the Conquistador, you had the Gator Blades, the Chiseler, Blue Max, uh, Unger,
Alex, Alex is going to sit here and try to count them.
Sunfoot, Bulldozer, Scrubber, um, channels,
Turbos.
turbos, big turbo, um,
Littlefoots.
little foots. Do you count each color as a separate tool? I don't know.
Jake's like, he packed a lot of them. He did too. Alex doesn't pack as many orders these days. He does a lot of the behind the scenes stuff.
Well, I mean, like we were talking with Sean last week. I was just in time for the Dragon days. So
Yeah. We bought stuff from Dragon Distributing for a little while.
and I
We
can't say we had any more than 40. We probably I don't know. I don't think there was like 100 different tools yet. It was
no, and
we just
as
had that
far as
one wire show with the bins.
yeah, well, no, we had two of those shelves, which we still have those two shelves, but now we have a lot more shelves.
Yeah.
Now we've got all the shelves.
Awesome.
And this summer we're about to have a need for a whole lot more shelves. We're going to find out if our organizational skills will actually arrange things.
Drilling tank lids off the ghetto rig wooden cart.
Oh yeah, that was before we could afford a cart for the UPS guys, so I built one. It didn't come out super great, but it was good. I mean, it did what it needed to do, and um, yeah, we would.
And I don't even think you had your hose counter yet either, because
No,
we were using the slitter
yep,
thing.
we go 5 feet at a time. 5, 10. 15. And then somebody would say something to you and you wouldn't remember if you were at 15 or whatever. We'll just start over.
Yeah. And then the floor was dirty and it was all Flexzilla hose. So you had to make
Yeah,
sure
that
it
floor
didn't
was
touch the
always
floor.
dirty. And then we didn't really have room once we did get the hose counter, which was a godsend. And I still have that hose counter. We've gotten a couple of new ones since then. And we've actually wore one of those almost completely out. But
Hey, Jake's like, we have all that, but no colored fusion handles.
no, I was never offered color fusion handles. I don't know. I'm angry about it. But I'll keep that to myself. Well, actually, I just told everybody. So everybody knows I'm angry about it now. What's up, Jeff?
Jeff, it is the Nova. You will love it.
Yeah, the Nova.
I like K5s. They're fun.
Yeah. They're a nice car to tint. It's not a super easy car, but it's way not a super hard car. So
That's the car I got last place on at the family reunion.
I mean, what I meant to say is it's a really, really hard car.
It's not bad. It's just like the seals on the driver door kind of caught me off guard, but I got more better at it.
Yeah, more better. Yeah, it's and your first competition's always going to be the worst.
No, and
You know,
I didn't think about like the amount of slip I normally use and then the Georgia weather.
that's the other thing too is typically when you go to do a competition, one, you're out of your environment. Two, you don't have any cars in that environment leading up to the first one that you touch. So like, how do you know your slip's okay? You've had no practice shots with it.
Yeah.
You know, there's a lot of variables that people don't think about and the nerves. Any pointers?
Honestly, so I seen Avery Wells, he pulled out that gasket kind of like I can't remember the other car that you can do that with. But I don't know. Just get your slip right and then be gentle with your film. Don't, like use your fingertips to slide it in place because it tacks up in that top rear corner on the drivers. That's like the only thing that kind of got me.
Oh wow. So Computer Cut put out a maintenance notice. It says plotter resolution, and I've never heard anybody explain this. So this is kind of cool for anybody using plotters. It says you should check your plotter resolution at least twice a year. Plotter resolution is the size a plotter actually cuts compared to the size of the image on screen. If it is off as little as an eighth inch, it can mean the difference between a pattern fitting or not. You can check your plotter's resolution using Computer Cut software. Click here to learn how. I am so intrigued.
So I top load everything, but I think from what I seen, when people were bottom loading and popping that panel and pulling that sweep, that gasket around the door frame was a lot easier for them to pull out. I don't know anything about taking apart doors though, so I think there might be a screw in that front corner. I don't remember.
I don't remember either. I remember I've done a couple of them, and I guess maybe the seal was a little tight, but
It's
I
it's the
started tinting in the 80s. You know, tight seals today are nothing like tight seals back then. They used to be tight and deep back then. You know, you'd have to slide on the front and back of the film. You'd have to slide it in like,
It says top back corner.
oh, for that, I just roll it down a little bit further so that you can, like, right at the bottom of the curve, you can access.
Yeah, because this rubber gets in the way.
So that's definitely probably favoring a two stage,
Yeah. Yeah,
but
you just have to
that
roll it back down here.
that gasket pulls out.
I saw Avery do it. I never thought to like do it or not. I was just like, oh, you know what? That probably could pull out. But
There's a
in
lot
my
of cars that are like that. You're thinking of like the Impala.
yeah, yeah. But in this like front mirror like this front mirror area, there could be like a screw, like a 10 mil thing behind that plastic piece that pops off that might have I don't know. I can't remember.
I don't know. I know on the Impala, there's nothing necessary to pull there.
Dude, do we not have any bottom loaders in here? Tim, say something.
Tim's the bottom loader.
I think he is. Dude,
There's no
Two-seaters
special
are like
notes.
dying out.
Who's what?
Two-seaters are dying out, surprisingly, with all the, you know, Matt YouTube people. You just pop off the top. Oh, so the top does pop off.
Pop pop. Yeah, I don't know. I'm all about avoidance. You know, it's like I I was
I'm
one.
not gonna lie. Huh? I was gonna say I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes I do get jealous at like of the panel pullers because like some I see like people that panel pulled for like 10 years, so they just kind of like know all the like secrets.
Well,
And it's
yeah.
just like but then you got like Chris Mahoney. I get one of his customers. Yeah, I went to this Chris Mahoney guy at cartoons and I think he fucked something up and then I go to open his door and I finish tinning it and then I like close it and then I hear that rattle in the door panel.
Dude, what amazes me is so he tents out of his garage. He does drugs. He doesn't pay his bills. And I can say that. And somebody tell him about it. Tell him to come fucking sue me because I don't care. Um, he doesn't pay his bills. He owes me a couple $1,000. So yeah, please come say something. I would like my money. Anyways, um, I I get so many I don't shouldn't say I because now the tint shop I don't really talk to people at the tint shop, but they still get so many complaints. The people that have went to him and got their stuff done, and they're like, "Oh, this was messed up and that was messed up," and he don't return my phone calls and all these things, and then yeah, when somebody in one of the local groups on Facebook chimes in and says, "Hey, I just got a new car. Where do I get the windows tinted?" You know, you see our name pop up an awful lot, but you see his name pop up, and people are like, well, it's a lot like our tint industry. Oh, go to him, top notch, second to none. And it's like, oh my God, people, for one, you're like, I'm glad you had a good experience with them. But then my question is, seeing a lot of the things I've seen, are you sure you had a good experience, or are you just wanting to make sure everybody else is as miserable as you were when you got screwed? Because I'm just saying, so I don't know. See, I'm thinking negatively. I want to hurt people. That's what I
Maybe
want to do.
it's just they just want their windows dark and they don't care what it looks like.
But yeah, this guy's funny. I mean, the complaints range, and I'm not against anybody pulling panels or sweeps or any of that stuff. He's a panel puller, but he's a panel puller. Like he takes the panels off, he sets them over. He's not real careful about it. He tins out of his garage, and his garage is not clean. His garage is, oh my, it's, I don't know. I've been over to his house. It's not professional in the least, but the complaints I get is scratched up door panels because apparently when he walks by them, he will bump them. They'll fall over, slide. He'll lean them against the wall, and then they'll slide down on their face onto the floor, and the floor's not smooth or finished or anything, and so then they got scratch marks, and he just denies causing anything. And but none of those people ever comment in these groups. Like it's always the people that, oh, he's the best. He's does great work. Well, and we've retinted our share of his windows too. He's not the best. He puts out things that should not they shouldn't leave your shop. I understand a little bit of contamination is going to happen, but you should have to look for it. If you can see it on your way up to the car, that's not acceptable. And then
Not only will he destroy your car, but he'll destroy it installing Lexan.
yeah, I don't even know what he uses now. I mean, he could have kept buying our film. We didn't mind, but the problem is he got so far in debt, and when the guy comes back too many times, and this sucks for everybody else because I stopped altogether giving any kind of terms to anybody, but he comes in, and he hasn't paid you in a couple of times, but he keeps coming and getting more film, and finally, he's a couple grand deep, and I'm like, dude, like I can't, and he's like, oh man, okay, okay, I understand. No, I can get through this. I'll bring you back some money next week. And next week came and went, no money. Following week came and went, no money. I'm like, hey, dude, what's up? Oh, I've been sick. I haven't been tinting. And I don't know, a little while longer went by, and I saw a post on Facebook bragging about all these cars he tinted yesterday. And so I chimed in and I said, wow, must be nice to have all of that money. And he unfriended me and blocked me. And now anybody that, I've had a lot of people be like, hey, let me know what's going on with that. I'll go check it out. I'll say something. No, he blocks everybody if you bring it up. Don't if you want to stay his friend, don't talk about me because he will just block you because he would rather not pay or something. I don't know. I mean, you could tell me to my face that you're not going to fucking pay me. I'm not going to do nothing about it. You already screwed me. It is what it is. I mean, you blocking me and blocking anybody that mentions me to you doesn't change who you are. It doesn't change the facts. But that's why I don't extend any terms because I just can't. I trust everybody. I want to give everybody the benefit of the doubt. Hell, people have given me the benefit of the doubt. My problem is I'm too small. If too many people do that, and the reality is, if I didn't extend terms in the first place, I probably wouldn't have lost him. Because I think that he initially decided to go elsewhere because he was pissed because I wouldn't support his habit. And yeah, you can't use up rolls of film in a short period of time and not be able to buy any more film without making some bad choices. And yeah, so thanks for bringing him up, Alex. God, I haven't thought about him in a minute. I mean, I got a good friend of mine that owes me a couple $1,000 that when our daughter passed, he he wanted to call and give me his woes, and So I invited him never to pay me back because he was another one of those guys that made bad money choices, and he can't seem to buy his film when he needs it. He always needs to like pay you for it after you give it to him, and whatever. We'd been friends since we were kids. And I'm going through the grieving process of losing a child, and he wants to call and tell me about this douchebag at one of the shops that he works out of, and I just told him I couldn't. I just ain't in the mental state for that sort of thing right now, and he just unleashed on me because apparently his problem was way bigger than mine. And I told him, as calm as I could be, that I don't ever want to hear from him again. And I hung up the phone and I blocked him. And so he eventually, about, I don't know, a year or two later, he reached back out to me and he let me know that he knows he owes me money and he wanted to pay it back. And more importantly, he would really like to have our friendship back and everything. And then I realized that, I'm a person who says what he does and does what he says. And I told him I don't want to talk to him ever again. And so I stuck to it and I just didn't respond to him. So that could be a learning lesson for anybody out there because, sometimes I wonder if that was the right choice. I was hurting really bad when I told him don't ever call me again. And so it was a emotionally driven thing. And I don't know. And if nothing else, maybe I could have got my couple $1,000s from him. That would have been cool. But I didn't. And now I'm pretty sure he's moved on. But I don't have a lot of those in my past. Those are the two biggest ones. I did
Wow.
have
Huh?
I did have a customer over there at the other place before we moved over here that he skated on us owing us money. He just disappeared into the abyss, and then all of a sudden he calls us here and says, "Hey man, I know I owe you money. I got out of Tinton for a while and I was wanting to get back in and I was wondering if I could just pay you what I owe you and everything." And what was funny is we had to do that one on the honor system because I didn't even remember him and I couldn't look him up because we had changed systems and we didn't have access to the shit from then. And so we just kind of let him skate. He gave me what he said he owed me and we called it good. I'm like, good for you, man, because it's not usually something people do. And I even was straight with him. I'm like, I don't know how much you owe me, man. I don't have access to that information anymore. So who knows? He probably owed me like 5 times what he paid me. But he paid me. I mean, that was I mean, that's some top notch people and stuff right there. Not too many people do that. Hey, it's 2 minutes to, and we're down to 2. How crazy is that? No Rick Tallman today. How crazy is that?
All right. Well, I gotta take off too.
Me too. I got an hour or so drive. I gotta go pick up my Jeeps. So guys,
talk.
What?
It was a good talk.
It was a good talk. You got to be closer to the mic when you say stuff like that. All right, guys, until next Tuesday, I promise I'll either come up with better stuff to talk about or I won't. So you got my word on that.